Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The Phillies are the best team in the world, and the New York teams made trades. The New York teams made trades. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. We got Trevor in the middle, young Jake wearing shades, and producer BBD behind the dish. It is episode number 518, July 29th. So we're closer and closer and closer to the deadline, which is August 2nd. We've seen some trades go down already. We've seen some teams run away from the postseason contention and others inch closer and closer into the fold. So I'm excited to chat with you guys and talk some baseball. Jake, how goes it?
James, Trevor, Big Baby David, Joe's McFly changed his profile picture today. Chris Rose, a lot of good people. The whole company, John Boy Media, everyone listening, everyone's families. Andrew Benintendi, the new Yankee. Thanks for joining us today. Excited to talk baseball with you guys. A little bit of a funky one for me, man. I mean, it's still the calm before the storm, right? Like, this feels like we did the pregame. Like, everyone got together, had their pre-drinks, a little flip cup, maybe a shot here or there before you get in the Uber to head out. Now it feels like we're in the Uber or the taxi. We're heading to the party. The trade deadline is coming up. We're just not there yet. But we had a couple things happen. And, man, I just want to know who everyone is dancing with. Luis Castillo, where are you playing in a couple days? Jose Quintana's supposed to start tonight for the Pirates. I hope that doesn't happen. Get him on a good team. Sorry, Pirates. That hurt. But, man, I'm so excited to get past this deadline so we can actually start setting up our war battle scenes, Trevor.
Oh, I see where you went with that. The problem is sometimes, or actually most of the time, the pregame is always better than the party. So I really hope that's not the case here. I'm hoping we're getting a banger of a trade deadline. The names that are out there are insane. We know Juan Soto is supposed to be traded. They came out today and said they're going to offer him one more deal. If he turns that down, he's getting traded. That's what Hector Gomez just put out there. Ohtani is on the market.
No.
This is insane, dude. So I'm hoping we didn't just have a few shots. What do you drink? Like 1942, little tequila, chase it back. And then we get to the party, and then we're like, this party sucks. Let's go back to the house and play some beer pong.
I am worried about that, Trev.
I hope we get like a real deal party. Right, James?
I agree with you. I think the pregame is going to be much better than the party this year. A little bit. Like you said, Ohtani's on the block. I just straight up don't believe that at all. You said, and then they're saying like the Indians are like, we'll trade anyone. It's like, or the Guardians, like, shut up, dude. Stop stealing other people's moves. And the Reds are like, you know what? Maybe we won't trade Castillo. It's like, well, you will. You're trying to get more leverage. I feel like this is the last gamesmanship window. And this weekend, it's like, all right, all the bluffs are done. We doing this or we're not doing this? And we're just in this window now, which I kind of dislike, where both sides are pitting the media to say empty threats or dumb stuff. Oh, maybe they won't trade him. Everyone's available. It's like nothing has mattered in the last 4 days besides the two trades that actually happened. And for me, in my opinion.
Okay, that's a pessimistic take, but I'm on your side more than the other, James. I do think we're going to get some trades. I think Juan Soto's gone.
I think Juan Soto's gone, and I think Castillo's gone. I'm just saying, like, everyone's bluffing a bluff right now with all these updates.
It all circles around Soto for me, because that would be one of the biggest trades in Major League Baseball history, and that's what we're going. Like, that's 40-40 club. We got the invite. We're rolling up. It's going to be lit. Maybe. I know nothing. But dude, I want to get there so bad. It's honestly it's one of the only times of the year that other stuff around baseball matters more than the game. So that's where I'm a little shooketh.
Okay. 40-40 club, huh?
Yeah, I feel like that used to be a
right
thing.
now?
Did you ever go?
I've been there a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That like was the thing. I don't think it is anymore, but maybe we're bringing it back.
I don't know. I don't know where the hot spot is in New York anymore.
Well,
Upper East Side, your house, baby.
oh, and there's my address. Should we know what's a hot spot in New York these days? Flushing. Should we do the National League?
We should. Nate Steele in the chat said Jimmy went from rumors are my gospel to the only thing that matters is things that have actually happened, which is true because the rumors started turning into all the things I hate every year about rumors. Like just both sides. For like 1 week, all the rumors were on the same side. Everyone's going to get traded. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a blast. And then we had a week of all this backpedaling and teams that weren't in the mix being like, well, what if we get in the mix and delay your time? Like, can we be invited to the trade party? It's like, Guardians, shut up. Butt out. You're not trading Bieber, so stop acting like you are. That's how I felt. That's the one that really, I was like, really? We're just nonsense now? And then the Ohtani stuff.
I feel pretty happy about not being happy with the Guardians front office because Chris Rose thinks they're buyers. They're trying to tell people they're sellers, which has to be good vibes for the team. So my hate for the Guardians front office continues.
Same.
Can I throw
fans
something
saying
out
they're
there?
buyers and they're publicly being like, we're sellers is hilarious.
You know how like everyone's always like, it's time for the Yankees to start acting like the Yankees. I believe that now. Cash God, go get your fucking guys. There are 2 guys out there that'll make you the Yankees. Go get one of them. My goodness, dude. You've been at the GM for 50 fucking years.
Trev, you been watching the Jeters doc at all?
I have, and I want to. I'm not against it. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to.
Dude, we should get a crew that like all presses play at the same time because Joe's live commentary is so good. And dude, the Steinbrenner stuff is unbelievable, and you would love it. After they beat the Red Sox in the 0-3 CS, he was at their team bus giving them the double birds, Trev. Can you imagine if that happened today? He's an old man.
Double birds are back. The double birds are back.
Double birds.
They made a huge comeback in 2022. David Ross just was doing it last night.
Yeah, how about that?
Somebody off.
How about that?
I don't know what was going on there, bro.
Let's get through this NL.
Let's go.
The double birds are back. That's true.
No, what else?
Shout out Teddy. It's his birthday today.
Teddy.
Happy birthday, Teddy.
No, what else?
7 years old.
Teddy.
No, what else is
How
back?
old?
7?
7. Yeah.
Better baseball player than Zoe. Shady Rays are also back. I'm wearing my pair of Shady Rays right now. They are changing the way you wear sunglasses outdoors. I'm also changing the way you wear them indoors. They're backed and lost and broken replacement guarantee. I told you guys, I sat a pair of my Shady Rays the other day. I'm getting a replacement in. These are just another swaggy pair. Someone left these at the warehouse. I've been wearing them. These might be Jim's. I'm sorry. I feel good in them, though.
Probably.
And what you should do is get yourself a pair of Shady Rays. As of today, it's still July. We got a lot of summer left. There's a lot of sunshine
Come
coming.
on, dude.
Use code TALKIN for 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades at shadyrays.com. That's code TALKIN, TALKIN, for 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades. Thank you, Shady Rays. We love you. We love the NL.
Tell me when the music starts.
Now, You're live.
The Braves and Phillies played 3 games, and the Phillies won the first one. It was an error fest, or just it was a weird hop fest, and then a big home run at the end of Minter. The Braves win the middle game. Strider with the great outing. His ERA is below 3 on the year. How about that? But the Phillies win the rubber match to take the series. They are now in the mix, and that is fun. Nationals and the Dodgers played 3 games. Nationals won the first 2. Heaney comes off the IL, wins the third one. I got to think Dodgers are kind of in like, let's find our team out and then go mode. And the Nats are like, let's show off because scouts are here for Soto. Imagine if a team sent a scout to Soto. You know, they always send scouts to teams that they want to. The D-backs sweep the Giants. They bunted on him every at-bat, and the Giants threw the ball away every at-bat, basically, from the highlights I saw. Cubs swept the Pirates. Hap and Contreras had a really nice hug. Really nice hug.
Nice hug.
Last game together at Wrigley, potentially really nice hug. Marlins and the Reds split 4 games. That's it. That's the end of the wrap-up.
You want me to get standings? You want to go on a little cafe run?
I definitely need caffeine, but I have the standings up, so I'll give them to you.
Okay.
Not a lot of NL. I mean, the Braves, they lose the game by losing to the Phillies. They're now 3 games back in the East, and the Phillies, did they lose last night? Because that would be
They beat the Pirates yesterday.
All right, well, it says they're 9.5 back in the East. I guess I should start just giving wild card standings here instead, because the Phillies are now tied for the wild card, I believe, the 3rd wild card. But that doesn't take yesterday's game, which was a new series, into account. So I'm all twisted up.
Okay.
I think it does. The Brewers are in first. Yeah.
Philadelphia and St. Louis are tied for that last wild card spot.
Nice. The Brewers, they gain a game over the Cardinals in the Central. Good job, Brew Crew. Dodgers, they lose 2 out of 3, so their lead is only 12 games now. And the Giants are, 17.5 back in the West and have dropped to out of the playoff contention by 3 games. So Giants kind of are out. In my opinion, that's going to be tough. And the Phillies are in the mix.
Phillies in the mix, baby.
Yeah.
Rob Thompson, Top are doing it. Jimmy, you have some, I don't know if you wrote these notes on the Phillies, but Rob Thompson having some fun with the reporters back there talking about this lab he's got. What's up with that?
We'll look at it. We'll go in the lab. I've got about moving. It's about moving Alec Boehm up in the lineup. He said, we'll look at it. We'll go in the lab. I've got a lab back there with little white rats and cleats on and lineups, which I like.
I don't like when managers try to be funny, but like I can see that coming out of his voice or out of his mouth. And then I started to think about little white rats with cleats on, and that's where he got me.
What do you mean try to be
funny? I like that
funny?
visual. Okay.
I like it.
We're a little glitchy here, so I'm not really getting the full Jake effect.
It is so hard to talk when I can't see you guys.
You're stuck right now. I just want to smack your face.
I think we're going to have to go like one person talks for a while and then response. Combos are tough. Can't see or hear you guys really.
Jim,
but
we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
I like that answer about that because Thompson knows he doesn't make the lineup and everybody asking the questions knows he doesn't make the lineup. And it's a funny way of saying like, I don't fucking know, dude. If the guys in the other room tell me to bat him leadoff, he's leadoff. Don't ask me.
Go ask Sam Fold.
The nerds in the white lab coats make my lineup. So just butt out. I like this fact that under Rob Thompson, the Phillies are 29-18. Whether they got, whether he's managing better or just getting rid of the manager, lit a fuse is probably a debate, or if neither of those are really the caveat, the thing that happened there. But I really like this stat because you guys know I like how do teams play against good competition. The Phillies are 21-16 against the 5 teams ahead of them: the Dodgers, Brewers, Padres, Cardinals, Braves. And it's not front loaded or loaded against any one team. They have a winning record against a lot of those teams, which is important in the wild card era, Trev, because say the Cardinals and the Braves were to be tied for the last wild card spot, the Cardinals and Phillies, the Phillies would get it because they have the head-to-head. There's no game 163 this year, or there's no game 163. It's just straight head-to-head. So that's interesting and cool.
It is cool. I mean, that definitely means something because you're getting all the games at home. I don't know. Are they really good at home? They have splits like that. I know some teams are. I have to pull it up for the Phillies, but that is a nice stat. You want to win games against good teams. We like this Phillies team. And Dave Dombrowski says that he's going all in. What moves can they make? I don't really know, man.
They're game over 500 at home, 26-25, and 26-22 on the road.
We're so focused on Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, Luis Castillo. Where are these guys going to go? But the reality is that there's a lot of other guys that are out there that can really help a ball club, and we haven't been focusing on them enough. But when these trades go down and we get through August and into September, those little trades, for a setup guy or like a bullpen dude that, whether it's a platoonish type guy, like a guy that can get a lefty out or, whatever it may be, there's going to be some players that really change the landscape of the season. And it's probably, it can be Ohtani and Soto and Castillo and those guys, but most of the time you see the little pieces make the biggest difference. So I think that's what the Phillies are going to have to deal with. I don't think they're going to go get some of these big names because I don't think they can, unless they start eating some money, because I don't think they have the prospect capital to do it. So they're going to have to work in the shadows. Old Double D's going to have to get down in those shadows and find some players. But I'm very intrigued by the Phillies. Very, very intrigued. I love that Bohm is going off. That makes a big difference.
Well, the other term in play there is risk, right? I mean, Dombrowski and these Phillies are in, and there's, like you're saying, there's a lot of players we haven't talked about at this deadline. It's so fun to talk Soto. We could talk Soto all day. A lot of our stuff on John Boy Media the past week and a half has been about Juan Soto. And guess what? I've loved all of it because it's so fun. It's so fun, and that's what John Boy Media does, is fun. Will Juan Soto be on your team? Will a 23-year-old Hall of Famer join your team and go into the Hall of Fame on your team and have that number retired? It's an awesome thought process. You're right. There's probably there's so many smaller moves between bullpens or just getting innings or a guy that can platoon or fill in whatever spot your team kind of needs. You wonder if there's contract guys that get moved or salary dump type moves where maybe the Phillies can take their chance that way. Because like you're saying, the prospect capital hasn't been the strength of the Phillies for a while. But like you guys are saying, there's a lot of good numbers around these Phillies. There's a lot of things that can get you excited. They've been one of the most exciting teams on paper, high-end talent-wise. That, yeah, man, they are such a wild card this playoff season, trade deadline season. And by the way, they've been without Bryce, right? Didn't we think there was a chance that they could be where the San Francisco Giants are right now, or even worse? And we'd be saying that, these Phillies, they lost Bryce. It kind of fell apart. What can they get rid of? Instead, they're going to get Bryce Harper back. They're going to be a part of this till the wire. And I wouldn't be surprised if my guy Dom, bro, I'm tougher on him than I probably should be. Just a weird little guy that talks baseball. But Dombrowski, he's going to make a move. And it's probably going to be if you had to bank on a team making the most off the map move this deadline, it'd probably be the Fightin' Phils for me.
You have Dombrowski as little?
No, I'm a little guy. He's tall. That's why we beef, dude.
Yes. That was my confusion. My bad. The Braves Anything on them? I mean, they were a game and a half out last we checked in on them. They lose these two to the Phillies. There were some weird plays. Did you see the Stott ball that took an odd hop and went under Olsen's glove?
Yes.
Yeah, he tried to kind of like sidestep it, expecting the big bounce, and just stayed down on him right there. But that's a tough one because it has so much top spin on it. Honestly, if you're Olsen, you got to do a better job getting further behind that ball. You got a little too close to it, but it's tough to judge that when a ball's hit like that. And so I guess that's the second hop. You either got to go try to get it on one hop or short hop it or move way back. He kind of put himself in no man's land there, and then he just got busted. I know it's a bad hop, but he could have played that better.
It looked like it hit a rock or something. Like it was crazy. And for 2 runs to score in it, and then Stott gets the big home run later on against Minter, who was only his second home run he'd given up all year. And the Phillies played some good small ball ahead of them. They put on a hit and run, got the ground ball, a big chopper to second, but the second baseman was covering the steal. So then it was safe, which sets up the 3-2 curveball bomb by Stott.
Yeah, nice looking swing on Stott too, man. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, Sarah Allen from Braves fan. She says that day games don't count for the Braves. So
okay.
I like that. That's like a good rule. Like if your team doesn't care about day games, they don't care about day games. That's fine.
Yankees did that
last year.
Yeah. Yankees did that big time.
I love day games.
Made us real mad. Anything else on the Braves? Like, I feel like this is like more exciting for the Phillies. Doesn't make me change my opinion on the Braves at all. They had a bad start by Morton, which was 1 inning where he got lit up. And he had the runner picked off and then didn't. And then they threw it away. Led to a big inning for the Phillies. So I don't know. Does this change anything for you on the Braves front? I think Michael Harris hit some more homers. I think Olsen hit 2 homers. Like, it's still like I feel like Braves fans should walk away being like, yeah, we're fine.
Yes, they're fine. Well, let's shout out Snicker, 500th career win. Do you remember when he got the job? Like, we were like, who's this guy?
He's a Brave, man, his whole life.
Yeah. So I love that he's had the longevity, and they love him there. So congratulations, Snit.
Congratulations to Snit. Let's see. The Dodgers lose 2 out of 3 to the Nats. The Nats, if you're talking about them, all you're talking about is trades. And it's a Soto situation, and it is Corbin got lit up. So if they're still trying to make teams bring Corbin on, which I never made sense to me, but a lot of people are saying that's why it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's the only way. I think that's the only way it does happen.
Well, they were saying that Rizzo doesn't. If he has to water down his prospect package, they'll just keep Corbin. That was the latest quote I heard on that.
Yeah, but again, this isn't a Rizzo thing. This is an ownership thing. I mean, if Rizzo got to keep Juan Soto, he'd keep Juan Soto. So I think, like you said, between selling the team and resetting this franchise, I think they want to clear the books a little bit. But yeah, I mean that was tough to see. I mean to see his stat line pop up 0.26 earnings when there's at least conversations about it. It's tough for him, and just as a competitor and athlete, you hope he can find that slider or whatever he's missing that used to make him a lot more successful. I love it for the Nats. They get the redemption they've wanted since the Scherzer trade, Turner trade. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just a time of year, the Dodgers are looking at different things. It's kind of the 1 week a year that teams are focused on something. The contenders are focused on something more than the games. And I think that's why we got a lot of the results we did this past week.
Yeah, and the Dodgers, they can use some help, man. If you we always talk about how deep they are, but if you kind of go over some of the lineups they've been running out there, they're probably playing Hanser Alberto a little more than they want. Trace Thompson a little bit more than they want. Jake Lamb a little bit more than they want. I mean, these guys are nice bench pieces, and I don't think the Dodgers want to have them, in their lineup as we go into September every single day. I'm sorry. I mean, no offense to these guys. Trace Thompson's actually been pretty good, but this just tells me that the Dodgers are going to be making some moves. They need I don't want to call the COVID year not a real title, but I feel like they want this really bad this year. And you know what? I was watching baseball yesterday and just watching Trey Turner do his thing. The Dodgers have to re-sign this guy, right? Like, or at least try as hard as they can. People are saying Trey wants to go back to the East Coast, but how can you let a guy like that go? He is so freaking good, dude. Like, he is like one guy you sign long term. I don't worry a second about his, like, how good he's going to be. He's just going to be really good. Set it and forget it's that guy.
Does Chris Taylor he's like, I think, making his rehab start soon, like very, close to returning from his injury. Does that change it for you, Trev? Like that's a big lift.
Yeah, they need him back. They need Muncy to, like, kind of, let's go. Like, we need you to be a middle of the bat type of guy. So their lineup depth isn't where they want it to be right now. I think they're going to address that. I think they're going to be very, very active at the trade deadline.
The Reds already started making moves, so
I like that.
I'd see one soon.
Dodgers bench isn't what a Dodgers bench would normally look like.
Well, it's fine if those guys are on the bench, but you need that. You can't have all those guys in the starting lineup like that. That's not what they set out at the beginning of the season to look like, and it's not what they're going to look like after the trade deadline.
D-backs sweep the Giants. D-backs are now like 8-1 or 7-1 in their last 8. Good for them. Bad for the Giants. I mean, it's the same thing again. They just ran on them, bunted on them, made them play defense, and then they just. Did you see the Belt thing? The 7th inning, 2nd and 3rd, run around this bunt, like not like a crazy bunt, just right to Belt, who throws it home, throws it away, both runs score. It's like Giants and the Red Sox, man.
You love picking on these teams right now.
I'm not picking on them. I'm just like talking about how bad they are at fielding. Teams are taking advantage of it, Trev. Like, the scouting report is make them make the play, and they can't.
Do you think this ends it for the Giants? Do you think this is it? Like, hey, you guys, we're not having a repeat of last year, obviously. Like, are we now selling some people?
They have to stay competitive, So I don't know their rental situation. I'll bring it up. I would think if they have a rental that teams would seek, you have to consider it.
It feels really similar to Boston, right? They're both 3 out. Boston is 500. The Giants are half a game below. These are big market teams. That I don't know, man. No real fan of either one of those teams has World Series aspirations. Like, I think in their heart of hearts, they're like, well, even at your root of fandom and wanting to win games, you'd love to make a couple tweaks and, like you say, hopefully that the story of baseball clicks in, where if you move your 8th inning guy to the 7th inning, he gets it better, and then that makes your whole bullpen better, and you get some ripple effects that way. The Giants, man, I don't know. Especially after, I guess it's really similar. The Red Sox went to the CS last year. The Giants won 107 games. Now they're both these 500 teams that are playing tough defense. I don't know what you do. If you're the GM, this is business time. Because what are we going to be saying about these teams next year? Is Boston going to be a better product next year? I know they definitely want to be. Same with the San Francisco Giants. So if you're really looking in the mirror, do you make that trade for a piece that could help you next year and you get rid of a veteran and that's kind of waving the white flag? Or do you make a couple little Atlanta Brave tweaks like last year and you hope that puts something in motion that changes the whole energy of your team? Because you do one or the two. If you sit there on your hands, I mean, that's as bad as you can do.
Oh, we don't like that here. We do not like idle hands here, okay? Be moving those dang things On the D-backs front, we're happy for him. Jake Snakes. I think the Snakes were in the chat earlier today in the episode. Don't know if they're still there. Cover your ears, D-backs YouTube person. Merrill Kelly on the move. Doesn't that seem like a logical move?
You stop it.
He's 33 years old. He's cost controlled through 2025. Like having a good year this year could probably bring back a nice package for you because of that control. And you're not paying. I mean, they're not paying him anything. It's like, I think it's a 2-year, 18 mil plus the team option in 2025. So
yeah, but you just know the Diamondbacks don't do that. They're just always trying to win, even when it seems like they're not.
He'll be a Yankee.
Like for them, they're like, well, our window's in 4 years. Of course it is. And he'll be part of that window.
In 4 years, he'll be 37. So it's like, you kind of got to look at age here. Some guys can do it, a la Justin Verlander. We'll talk about him later, but seems like the right time for me.
Hottest team out of the All-Star game. We're 6.5 in the wild card. Just trust the process, maybe.
Okay.
Thank you.
2-gamer, Cubs, Pirates. Want to go there?
Ooh.
Nope. And the Marlins and the Reds. I mean, we're not talking about teams out of it unless they're trading guys.
What about that hug between Happ and Contreras?
That was nice.
Beautiful and sad.
It was nice. I hope they both get traded now. Seems like they've come to grips with it. They've accepted it, and it would be weird if they weren't now. Because, I mean, Happ's got next year. He doesn't have to be traded. They should.
All right. I know we want to skip over some stuff, but let's give a little love to my guy Jonathan India, who's been freaking red hot. First career grand slam. Sends out a tweet, gets the ball back. When I think about guys like him and the direction of the Reds and all of that, it's kind of sad, man. I want to see that guy playing meaningful baseball.
Yeah, I know we talked about it with Martin Perez. Ian Happ, our friend, like, Cubs, if you're not trading him, why aren't we hearing about an extension? Because that is is he 27 or 28? A 27-year-old switch-hitting outfielder who's got a career 800 OPS. He's got an 813 OPS this year. Like, either trade him or give him the bag. Like, don't live in the middle. No sitting on your hands this week.
Why did the Cubs sign Stroman? It still doesn't make any sense.
We never knew. We never knew, bro. We never knew. We got some Marlins fans in the chat getting mad at us. Your team said everyone's on the block, man, except for Sandy. Like,
yeah, they're the same as the Guardians, dude. Like, shut up, get out of here.
I wish they would go for it. Obviously, Jazz on the 60-day, or he's done for the season, right?
That
hurts a little bit. I'm a believer. I love the Marlins. I wish they would have, thought of this before the season when they still had Jeets. Jeets and Kim could have freaking figured some stuff out, but they just, I don't know what happened there, man. I don't think we'll ever know unless Jeets decides to spill the beans. But
be episode 10 of the documentary.
They had a chance to be a really freaking good team, dude. Like, they had a legit chance to be very similar to the Brewers. Like, with that pitching, like, go spend some money and bring some bats in there. Like, things can be funny. I know you're in a tough division, but from the get-go, they were not. It didn't seem like they were kind of all in on this season, which is what sucks if you're a Marlins fan.
Yes.
Because when are you going to have that fucking staff? Like, I know they're there, but like, this is your window. This year included, man. It was.
It's a tough division, I know, but what you want to know the very tweet, and I think it was our account, and I'm not upset about our account tweeting, but the very tweet that made me go from I love rumors to like my normal self. It was when the Marlins said everyone's available, and then besides Sandy, and then someone was, I think, like, talking baseball, we tweeted, well, Pablo Lopez would be a great get if everyone's available. And I was like, I'm out. We're not in reality anymore. See ya.
I'm just waiting for the passing button to be hit. BBD, is your finger on that thing?
I've got it ready.
Pablo Lopez, if the Marlins trade him, then that means they're not trying to win until 2025. And they're not going to do that because that would be, I mean, Colorado Rockies level inept.
I don't know, man. Yeah,
He's making $2 million and he's so good. And they got him for 2 more years. That's when I tapped out. When I saw that trade, I was like, what are we doing? That's bad baseball and not going to happen.
sometimes I wonder if there's just like things that we don't know about. Obviously, there's things we don't know about that happen.
I don't
in
know
front
about
office.
so much stuff. I can't figure out air travel.
Or Wi-Fi. Weird.
Or Wi-Fi on
Don't
air
even
travel.
start. James, when you said about the DirecTV dish, this thing makes you able to have television, and you said I don't really believe that. I'm with you, bro.
Yeah. So
I'm
stupid.
with you.
That's so nuts.
Why does internet travel just like a little bit? Why can't we just make it travel more?
Bluetooth.
Oh, it only goes up to 100 feet. Why? Make that shit go 3,000 feet, dude. Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, I get like mad at the whole world when there's spots in civilized towns that like, oh, this town doesn't get good cell service.
My neighborhood,
Like,
I can't even.
what
You
are
guys
you
know you try to call
talking
me.
about?
You got to FaceTime me if you want to talk to me in my house.
Like
It's
every
a joke.
house I see has plumbing and like electricity. What are you talking about? Put cell service where the people live.
Wi-Fi should be free, by the way.
Jake,
It's
what's
like-
something you don't understand?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, of the same ilk, I tweeted out the other night. I mean, Bluetooth is the same stuff. Like, oh, I can just casually connect devices through the air, like the same way we use internet and other stuff. I don't know. The one that gets me that I know there's actual information behind is still bridges. I mean, how? Like bridges that go over water?
I get bridges.
Yeah, I understand bridges too.
I
It's
understand
like a logical
them, but
explanation
like,
for bridges.
look at, they had to dig a hole in the water and put all the cement in the hole to like stabilize it. Like, I don't know, man.
I get bridges, tunnels. How'd we start that?
Heavy.
I get that too.
I get how they work, but like literally how'd they get that to happen?
When you're in a big skyscraper, my goodness.
Why
love
have we only
skyscraper.
discovered 5% of the ocean? We should be putting little rovers all around the ocean that just run 24/7 so they can discover what's in the ocean.
Let those be. Ocean's cool.
What? Anything else in the National League?
Felt like all of it.
Yeah, I
That
think
was
it's a
good.
big eye.
We got some International League. Watch the documentary on the Brooklyn Bridge, and then you'll understand bridges.
We have no
It's crazy what
we
they
have
used to
no
do.
international league. We do have AL and IL.
Yeah, international.
Why
We're
can't
not
we?
doing minor league updates.
Jimmy, I'll do AL. You go get a cup of Joe. We'll see you back in a minute.
One question.
Yes.
One question. California is in a drought right now. I
Yeah.
can't even water my grass. We got like the Pacific Ocean right next to us. Why can't we just take the salt out?
I went down that
There is
wormhole one day.
desalination.
Yeah. Like they can do it.
Need
It's all
that.
It's
money.
really expensive.
It's all
but I don't know why.
controlling.
I don't know why that's not just a thing that happens. Why does that?
You know
cost
what else
us
is
anything?
expensive? Like
Yeah.
a lot of things, bro.
So
like
many
a lot of things
things.
are expensive. It seems to me like getting water for like your fucking the best state in the world that produces
Okay.
all of the U.S.'s fucking produce should be at the top of the list. I don't know.
Speaking of the West Coast, how about the Seattle Mariners, babe? They go out and they sweep Trevor Plouffe's Texas Rangers. The Mariners, man, they've got a case for third best team in the American League. I want to talk about them a little bit. Ty France, him and Big Flex did it in the first one. Cal Raleigh heard me talking shit about Wilson Contreras, so he hit a game-tying RBI double. And then trade piece Carlos Santana with the walk-off sac fly, and then they finish it off with Marco Gonzalez. Robbie Ray apparently taught George Kirby his nasty two-seamer. I like that. Marco Gonzalez also with a hot take. I think Julio is the best player I've ever seen. Sure, the best player I've ever played with. Good times in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe we'll talk about him staying out west. And again, I tried to tell you guys some funky results because it's trade deadline season. The Oakland Athletics swept the Houston Astros. It's the Oakland A's first sweep of the season. Trevor Plouffe's A's. Maybe the most complete team in baseball right now, the Houston Astros, and they got swept by the Oakland Athletics. Pretty wild. Good job, A's. Frankie Montas, his last A's start. Hopefully. How about it? Some weird baseball going on. Not weird anymore. Your Baltimore Orioles winning 3 out of 4 in Camden against Trevor Plouffe's Tampa Bay Rays. The Orioles. And man, if you believe in sports or you believe in chaos or energy, I mean, Trey Mancini, he salutes the crowd on Mo Gabba Day. Man, inside the park home run. I mean, just craziness. These Baltimore Orioles, man. These Baltimore Orioles, they win another series. They take 3 out of 4. They're getting away from 500, and they may be coming for your ass in the AL East. The Red Sox and Guardians split 4, and that's obvious because the Red Sox are bad right now, and the Guardians have no belief from their front office. Ugly defense. The Red Sox win the bread games as the Guardians win the 2 middle games around it. Josh Naylor having fun. Always. I could watch him all day. And that's pretty much what happened in your American League.
Nice job, Jakey boy.
Guys,
James, standings?
The standings are that the Yankees are leading the East by 11.5 games. Toronto, third best record in the American League. They're in second place. The Rays in third. Baltimore, fourth place. Red Sox fall to last in the division. Yikes. Twinkies, they're in first place in the Central. Cleveland, 2 behind. White Sox, 3 behind. White Sox are exactly 500. And the Astros have an 11-game lead now. They get swept, and their lead drops to 11 games. Mariners, 11 back. As far as wild card goes, right now, the division leaders would be the Yankees, the Astros, and the Twins. And your wild card teams would be the Toronto Blue Jays, the Seattle Mariners, and the Tampa Bay Rays. Twins have a worse record than the 3 wildcard teams because the Central is middle of the country.
Whoa. All right. Let's reel it in. And
I don't like that.
Speaking of,
I'm just saying that the best team in the Central has the worst record of all potential AL wildcard teams. AL wildcard teams.
I miss
you
again.
That's are quoted as saying the Twins are good. I have the clip.
He has the clip.
I do think the Twins are all right. I don't know dude. I can't figure out the Twins this year. So if anyone wants to give me, but I talked to a bunch of Twins people when we were in LA that are involved with the team and close to team, and I had good conversations, and they were of the same mind, and they're with the team every single day, and they're like, yeah, I don't know, man. Some days it seems like we can be really good, and other days it seems like we can be really bad. The
starting pitching's falling apart. Like we need some people there. I'm going to the games. They come to LA 9th and 10th of August, so I'll be there. I'll talk some sense to them. It'll be after the trade deadline, so it won't do any good. But
there's a really good graphic. Their starting pitching by month has just gotten worse. I think the first month they were third, and now I think they're up to last. I did miss Royals and Angels only because they got shut out from this, because if you were the losing team in that series, you got shut out 7-0, 6-0, 4-0. Angels won 2 out of 3. What matters in the American League, the team that we deserve to talk about in this segment is your Seattle Mariners. We've seen them turn it on. They swept the Texas Rangers. They made big moves before the season. Robbie Ray, Jesse Winker. Julio Rodriguez is having an all-time rookie season. They have some young, fun pitchers. They have a GM that loves to be in the action and do business. I think we're going to be talking about them a lot in the couple days. And you mentioned the Blue Jays technically have the third best record in the AL, and they're playing a good brand of baseball. They're not in my little recap here. But the Seattle Mariners, they have an argument to be the third best team in the American League. And I think if you told the Mariners that before the season, that's kind of what they probably hoped for. Like Houston and the Yankees, yeah, they're still kind of the big bad woofs. But the Seattle Mariners are playing a really good brand of baseball. Julio seems to get better every time you see him. If you saw the highlight of the hanging slider he hit for a home run in this series, my goodness. It's Mariner season, baby, and I'm excited to see. They have one of the more fun weekends coming up because they're going to add and
they're getting somebody.
They're getting somebody. Hopefully, they're getting some buddies.
I don't want to make this about the Yankees, so just real quick on this, okay? Because you just
they didn't even play in
something.
the American League.
I got it. I'm going to be recapping them against the Mets, which they got swept. Spoiler alert. You really thought the Yankees were going to be where they're at before the season? I don't think that's true. You did not foresee a juggernaut team coming out and being this far ahead of the pack. That's not true, man.
No.
Right?
Did Jake say that?
No.
Yeah, he said the Mariners knew that they were Astros and the Yankees are top of the class. That before the season, that was not the case.
No, I was more so sorry if I confused you, Trevor. I was more so saying that if you told the Mariners that at this point in the season they'd be third behind a good Houston team and a good Yankees team, they'd say, okay, that's a pretty good result for us. It's a very.
Yes,
I think them in the
agree with that.
I think them and the Blue Jays are a fun conversation right now because the Blue Jays are starting to go yet, but. We're not talking about them. We're talking Mariners.
Yeah, I don't know if it's recency bias or what, but those two teams look fucking almost unbeatable right now. I declared one of them dead, but now I'm watching these guys play. And really, it's Julio Rodriguez, man. Like, he is an absolute difference maker. 21 years old, dude. He's a perennial 30-30, 40-40 fucking guy.
I'll taste other dudes.
Julio. You don't even need to say the last name.
Yeah, I like that.
Wow. You kind of don't. If you're like a baseball fan that watches baseball.
Yeah, you seen Julio?
Yeah, if you're not if in other circles that might land somewhere else. Like if I go to like a bunch of ballet enthusiasts and I say, "What do you think about how Julio's latest performance?" I don't know who they think of.
There's probably a Julio in ballet.
Someone give me the top Julio for each,
industry.
Bowling. Is there a Julio up and comer?
I don't like J-Rod.
No.
Don't like that.
I don't like any of the rods. I think that has to be dead for like 20 years before someone tries to bring it back. K-Rod and A-Rod had a good run.
Why on his baseball Mariners fans, sound off in the chat. Why on his baseball reference page are his nicknames listed as J-Rod, Julio, and Acuna? Like baby Acuna? Is that what we're doing?
Maybe.
Sound off.
This week has been kind of the big Twitter week of like, wow, Julio Rodriguez became just Julio pretty quick. Saw a couple
He's
of them.
He's incredible, dude.
He's not good. He's fabulous.
He doesn't give a fuck either. That's why I like this dude. Just smiling, crushing baseballs.
It's funny because Julio Urias is really good, but Urias is a pretty badass last name. That.
Yeah, you just call him Urias.
Yeah.
Urias.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys want anything else there? Or keep it moving.
We can keep it moving. Mariners are good. I mean, Blue Jays, are they the next team that deserves to be talked about, or where do you want to go, Jake?
No, we're going to keep it on the West Coast. The Jays were not part of my AL. So we're going to talk about how the Houston Astros, the big bad wolf, they got swept by the A's. This was what I was talking about when I was referencing some of the results. When you see that the Dodgers lost to the Nationals, the Astros lost to the A's. I think it goes to what I was saying. This is the time of year where the games are secondary to the trade deadline as people are kind of loading up on their artillery and getting it ready. It's the Athletics' first sweep. We gave the Cubs some claps last week for getting their first sweep. Happy for the A's. And but either way, the story of these teams aren't changing. For the A's, it's who's got their bags packed and is ready to go. And for Houston, it's like, well, by the way, Houston's first time getting swept this year, which is also wild. And Houston, there's all sort of swirling rumors. Jim, I don't know if you put these in the good or bad rumor, but I heard they're talking about Urquidy if it can get them major league help in the outfield or catcher. Who knows if that's true? But yeah, I mean, both of these teams, it's just rumor season. It's not baseball season.
Wilson Contreras to the Astros. Book it. First of all, they got Swervin Irvin, okay? And I read a fun stat. And this is how deep these front offices are going into the numbers nowadays and just all the data they collect. The A's front office loves Cole Irvin, Swerve, as I call him, because he doesn't allow fly balls to left field. He's got a really low fly ball to left field rate. So that plays good if you're a lefty pitcher. And he went out and stifled the Astros. Then Montas had his thing. I mean, I think, yeah, you're totally right. This is a look-ahead series for the Astros. Shout out the A's for doing it. My guy Pinder hits the grand slam. Voter hits a homer. I mean, this is 2017 A's? What's going on here?
Piscotty and Vogt back-to-back. What's going on over there?
Awesome, dude. Yeah. And then we got to mention McCullers. He started this first rehab assignment. Scary. He's coming back, guys.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, A's aren't. Astros are. Results. It's baseball.
Like that.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to trade Urquidy. That's the rumor?
That's a rumor.
They're saying they will. They'll trade from a position of depth because they do have McCullers coming back. They want that offense. I talked about that. They want that offensive upgrade at catcher, man. And Brantley's out for a while. I don't think that he has a timetable for return. They said that he hasn't even swung a bat yet. He's been out since June and hasn't swung a bat yet, so that's not looking good. So there's a few things they can address on their roster. Obviously, center field is, center field, outfield, catcher.
I mean, do they not have a minor league? They don't have prospects that people would want?
I think they do, but this is a way for them. You always want to deal from a position of depth.
Yeah, but not pitching depth. I mean, homegrown, cheap pitching depth that you have locked up for 5 years. Reds would have traded Castillo. I mean, they didn't have the depth, but like the package, if they didn't say this themselves and someone would say, what would it take to get Urquidy? The package would be huge. Not huge, but you'd need to match it with someone who you're going to get like 5 years of control with, he's a proven mid-threes ERA guy that's been in the postseason for them 3 seasons now, and he's still got 5 years of control left. Would seem like a wild move.
There's got to be some peripherals they don't like, some data on him. They're like, oh yeah, he's really good. Come get him from us. Pay a lot. I'm looking at their prospects right now. Let's see if I can get it up here. As far as like top rated prospects, they only have one in the top 100, Hunter Brown, as of right now. And he is a pitcher, 23-year-old. He's in AAA right now.
Okay. Contreras deleted all the Cubs from his Instagram.
Damn.
Dude, that always blows my mind that is on people's mind. What?
That's just a baseball button. Not a passing.
Oh.
You thought it was a passing button?
I thought it was a passing button. Yeah, that just got me right there.
Damn.
I'm on high alert, dude. I need my boy Jeffy.
You're edgy. Yeah.
Trev's edgy. Jim's spitting.
I like reading Trevor Plouffe's stuff. He's got a lot of good takes.
No,
I'm
I'm over
spitting?
Ron Darling. I'm over Ron Darling.
Yeah. Did you say I'm spitting?
You're spitting.
What am I spitting?
You're spitting, man. It's trade deadline. Everyone's on edge. Everyone's on edge.
I'm doing well. I just wish I could see you and
I
see
know
you.
it, Big Daddy. I know
Yeah,
it.
it's tough to deal with this, man.
I know it. You guys are fighters.
Let's go. Rays-Orioles. Let's move on. Let's go, boys.
Yep. The Orioles, man, they continue to go. Good energy in the stadium. I can't believe Trey Mancini. I mean, he was on Hug Watch, and they're saying it might be his last game. Still just doesn't. If there's one thing that doesn't make sense to me, it's the energy they have right now, and with that guy sticking it out through all of this. But we'll see. He's still a popular trade deadline. The Rays are still beat up. They've been beat up. They casually got the news that Kiermaier and Zunino are out for the year. I mean, we haven't talked Rays like at all on this. I mean, Wander Franco, he's been out. The Rays have kind of been the ghost of the American League in this first half, and now the Orioles take 3 out of 4, and they jumped the Red Sox. They're on the Rays' ass now.
Usually I say this is where they want to be. This is right where the Rays want to be, in the depths lurking, but they have 17 players on the IL right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's hard to overcome for any team. Okay. And maybe this is where they want to be and they don't care about any of that, but there's going to be a season before last season. I never know what to think of the Rays. On the Mancini front, I don't think they can trade this guy. I just don't see how you can do that to your clubhouse and your fan base. You just can't. Because as Britt Giraldi pointed out, and I talked about this on Baseball Today earlier, what's the return going to be for Mancini? It's not like a franchise-altering player.
No,
you're not going to get it. He's purely a rental, so you're going to get a flyer. That's not worth it to give up your clubhouse leader, a guy that's showing the young guys how to go about their business and is a fan favorite, and you're a game above 500 now. You just can't do it. You can't. If
Fully
they
agree.
do, be pissed.
You're going to get 2 flyers, 2 guys that are not in the top 20 of the team's prospect list, but showing promise. That's what you just saw, the Benintendi trade, and he's having an amazing season. And it was 3 guys like that. Rizzo last year. I'm sure there's tons of examples from teams that I don't follow as close as the Yankees, but yeah, you're not going to get a name or anyone, or, but it's still prospect capital, which they value so much. But I do think it would be wise of them to emphasize the value of keeping them around as mentor and tutor and all that shit.
All right.
You think anyone catches in the wild card, Jake, in the American League wild card? Like, as you're saying, the Rays look bad and bad. Like, if the Rays keep going down, who's your team then? Because then you have the Guardians, the Orioles, the Red Sox right now.
Well, that's where the American League still has a chance to become really fun baseball in September, with a twist of, you probably won't like it, Jim, because there's going to be a bad team in the American League that gets in this year. That's kind of what it looks like. Or one of these teams changes the whole note of their season. We haven't talked about my White Sox yet. They are 500 on the nose. The Red Sox are 500 on the nose. The Baltimore Orioles are a half game over, but they've got the fun juice aspect, so we like that. The Cleveland Guardians, we love their young talent. They're still lurking around. And the Tampa Bay Rays, maybe the ghost of the American League, if they start getting some of those healthy bodies back, if it's Wander, if it's Glasnow, if the Tampa Bay Rays can look like a different team on September 15th, which when you have 17 guys on the IL, you can, then maybe we're talking about them again. Because if Toronto, Seattle, and who the Rays can be are your American League wild card, those are good teams. If we see the Rays fall off and we see maybe this gritty Baltimore team or Boston makes the tweaks they need, do the White Sox figure it out and the Twins slip? Like, it just depends what it looks like come October. And I think some of the deadline things that go down, that if you're Baltimore, why aren't you licking your chops? Cleveland's no different than you. you're gaining on Tampa, and they don't have the juice right now. Like, it feels like the middle. Trev, you play poker. It feels like a poker hand where you've already put enough chips in. You don't have to put, like, they just checked the bet, and they just knocked on the table, and it's like, let's see some cards. Who knows what's going to happen the next 2 months of baseball? That if you're the Orioles, don't trade Trey Mancini. Let's see if the Rays figure it out. See if the Guardians either trade away their best pitcher or if they add something. Like, let the chaos happen around you. I think at some point a team will fall out of the AL wild card. Whether Cleveland gets hot for a little bit or Boston or the White Sox click. But yes, I think we will see a change at some point.
I did not understand your poker reference at all, but I appreciate the effort that went into
You
it.
don't play ball, I guess.
Maybe that's a me thing and not a you thing. Go Orioles, go. We got to keep it moving, guys. Red Sox and Guardians.
Ooh.
Two mid teams.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. Yes.
Someone clipped this. Will Middlebrooks texted me after I said the Red Sox are going to be a 500 team this year. He said, what are you smoking? And I said, I just don't really believe in this team. Got to go. Like, if Nick Pivetta goes, maybe they got a chance. And he was not happy with me. We're 100 games in, Will. 50 and 50, baby. I don't know if anything's going to change either. There's been some bad luck for them. Obviously, the Chris Sale thing, as soon as they were getting hot, he comes back, then he gets hurt, and then changed everything. So bad luck, but I don't think they were ever really destined for greatness this year. I don't see how you could have thought that. And
Can I tell you something?
Exactly like how I thought it was going to play out.
50 and 50 wins, 50 losses is more brutal than 49 and 49 or 51 and 51. Just because it's such easy math to play. Like, oh, we played 100 games. What do we know? Nothing. Are we good? No. Are we bad? No. Just wasting everyone's time for 100 games straight. Just such a benchmark moment. I'd suggest teams either be a game under or game over at 100 games in.
That's your suggestion? Okay.
Yeah.
I
Don't
like
be
that.
50 and 50.
Don't be
That
neutral.
stinks.
Don't live in the gray.
At all the check marks, like after 50 games, after 100 games, like I'd be so mad. I'd just feel like I wasted a whole bunch of time.
No round.
Don't take
numbers.
this the wrong way. I do love Will Middlebrooks, so.
I bet.
Couple hot third basemen.
Couple hot third basemen, hot wives, whatever.
Devers supposed to come back Tuesday when eligible. Story still struggling. Yeah, I mean, Jim, I don't know if you saw this. They're 25 and 25, both home and on the road as part of that 50 and 50. So it's all green, no red or black. And I don't know, the defensive highlights from the Boston Red Sox are still going around. It's not good.
It's not. Don't play Cordero at first. My God.
Yeah.
He's being punished.
Go get Swerve and Irvin. He doesn't give up fly balls to left field. Perfect.
That's right, baby.
Cole Irvin, you are a Red Sox.
Bogarts came out and said that they told him he will not be traded, which is what we expected after the international draft was shot down, because they're going to offer him the qualifying offer, and you can't do that if you're Chaim Bloom. So that makes a lot of sense. I guess we're not really going into the nitty gritty of these games. I think it's cool to point out that Shaw, who's been a reliever in this game for a long time, makes his first start as an opener, 733 games into the career. I think that's pretty cool.
MLB record.
Like, think about that. Your day of preparation is so different as a starter than as a reliever. So I think that's just cool, man. I wanted to throw that out there. I also have a walk-off homer against him. It's not that big of a deal. So it's like, if you want to applaud me, fine.
It feels like you only brought it up for one reason.
It might have been that. I don't know. Angels at Royals. This one's a snooze fest. I'm sorry, guys. Angels take 2 of 3. Greinke's still doing his thing. Is Syndergaard going somewhere, guys? Are you in on that whole thing? Are you in on that train?
Should be. I think the Trout injury is the big news out of Angels camp.
Jansen,
Yeah, that's scary.
As we start skipping some of these series later in the year, I do want to highlight the young players. Like Jansen Junk gets his first career win. Good for you, kid. But yeah, hopefully Syndergaard goes somewhere. That would be fun. It's a fun uni guy. But yeah, that Trout news. I mean, Trev, I'll go with you. You don't see a lot of reports like that, and I don't know if you've ever had teammates that had anything like that happen. I don't know that. It just kind of punched everyone in the mouth real quick and was like, what? Trout with a rare back condition?
I think we need to see like what it means, and I don't think he's going to play again this year. It doesn't make. I mean, that's just my gut feeling on this whole thing. Definitely, obviously, the spine isn't something to mess around with, but it reminds me a little bit, and I hope it doesn't go this way. It reminds me a little bit of when they told Joe Mauer he wasn't going to catch anymore, and just if he has to be, handled with kid gloves from now on and has to DH and not play as aggressive as a center field, like I think there's obviously still a ton of value in that, but it's scary, man, because this is the guy, and I have to say the same thing on these shows a lot. I've talked about this on Baseball Today, but those counting stats, man. We're putting him up against the greats, the all-time greats. He's our 1-1 guy, like our generation's guy. And like we're saying he's the best to ever do it. But when you start missing games like this in your prime, and, the last 3 years, 2020 wasn't his fault, but, he's been hurt the last 2 years. Like you're missing out on some of those counting stats, 60, 70 homers in the last 3 years. He's probably missed out on. And does that get him away from 700? Kind of crazy to think about that, man. We need Trout on the field. We need to have him healthy for the next 8 years.
Did you see his follow-up to the report?
He said he didn't give a shit.
He was like, I think the doctor was just saying I have to prep and I'm fine.
Hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, it's very interesting when you read doctor's quotes and like he seems like he's dancing around saying what he really wants to say. And then you guys see what Trout says, and it's like, what's going on here? This is weird.
It's weird.
I think Syndergaard should be on the move. I mean, if the Angels are taking offers on everyone, then they got a lot of people they can sell. So they're out on if they're taking offers on Ohtani, they're out on next year too. And then the report was that they want your 4 top prospects for Ohtani. It's like, okay, so you're not trading Ohtani. You're just like getting headlines now with stuff. If that's real, like, I don't know. But yeah, they got a bunch of guys they can trade, right? Is Lorenzen still playing well?
I thought he was hurt.
Did he get hurt? I haven't been keeping up with the Angels.
If you're the Angels, you trade him away. You trade whoever you can.
Yeah, he's on the IL right now.
Tapera, would he get traded? I don't know. They should trade Thor, but has he been good enough for a team to give him $8 million? They paid him. I think
so. He's been pretty good. I think he's on the move for sure. I don't see how the GM can trade Ohtani. I just don't see how that's going to work. I highly doubt that's going to happen.
I've tried to wrap my head around it a bunch. I mean, if there's a trade. If their trade happens where Ohtani's on the move, I will be so excited to read the details of it. And if there's with the packages and all that stuff, but I can't wrap my head. Like, you want their 4 top prospects. So then they just you're not getting them for 3 years.
I'd give up my fucking top 4 prospects for Ohtani in a heartbeat, dude.
But the way GMs think about, like, you want 1 through 4.
Okay. I'd be like, hey, take 5 too. Fuck it.
Well, what did the Dodgers give up for Scherzer and Trey Turner? Because you're looking at a pretty similar comp, except 2 bodies instead of 1 body.
They gave
Oh,
up
I
1
like
and
that,
2.
James. You're combining Scherzer and Turner to be one Ohtani. I like that.
It's like did they give up 2 top 5 prospects?
Depending on where you
Like
look, it
two-
was the number
two
1 and
top
number
10.
2.
It was 1 and 2.
Was it Gray and Ruiz? Those were the prospects.
Yep.
They gave up their number 1 and their number 2.
So what's 3 and 4? Just throw them in the bag.
So you're probably looking at that, like 2 of your top 5, and then something, and then maybe another top 20.
Plus Ohtani selling tickets, so that gets you 1 through 4.
These 2 guys.
Syndergaard, congrats on becoming a Twin or a Blue Jay. See you there.
Oh, Syndergaard is such a Twins guy this year. Oh my gosh.
Yankees might grab him.
New York, been
All
there.
right.
I think they tried to grab him in trade deadlines in the past.
Sorry, Nate Steele. This is depressing angel talk. You guys want to go interleague?
Give me some IL.
Is it Flushing or Flushings?
Yes.
Yes,
Come on, dude.
Flushing.
No S.
We're going to start out in New York where they play the Mets games. I don't know where that is. The Yankees came into town. Did they ride the subway over there for real? Because that would be sick. It's the Subway Series, people. That was a joke. They get swept. 6-3 Mets. 3-2 Mets. Scherzer has a birthday. Starling Marte's doing all sorts of great stuff. Edwin Diaz is dicing these fools up. 4 outs. He strikes all 4 of them out in game 1 to get the save. I like this stat. I put this in there myself. 27 of his last 36 outs have come via the K. That's what you want in your back end of your bullpen. Mets get the freaking sweep. Yankees made a trade. Joey Gallo is DFA'd, but not DFA'd. What? He's in purgatory. What is going on right now? We'll talk about Clay Holmes in the 8th, all that. Go, Mets, go. Moving on to Milwaukee. Brew Crew sweeps my Twins. My Brewers sweep my Twins. 7-6 Brewers, 10-4 Brewers in game 2. Rowdy Tellez goes off. Corbin Burns strikes out 11 people. A lot of good stuff happened in this game. The Brewers were looking good. They had a little hitters meeting, a little powwow together, guys, and decided what they needed to do to get their offense going, and they have been rolling since they did that. They get the sweep against the Twins, and then this was a nice little series up in Toronto. Blue Jays and Cardinals, they split 10-3 Blue Jays in game 1. They kind of just went off. Matt Chapman has really started going, and then the Cardinals shut him down in game 2. Waino goes 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. It was the old guys, Wainwright and Pujols, number 686. He's the oldest player to ever hit a homer in the Rogers Center, because I think anywhere he hits a homer now, he's the oldest player to ever hit a homer in that ballpark, which is really cool. They get the series split. We'll talk about that in detail. Moving on, Detroit, the Padres moved into town. This is, to me, an aesthetically pleasing series. I like the new school Padres look with the old school Detroit look. Tigers take 2 out of 3, went 12-4 Tigers. Then the Padres won the meat game, 6-4 and 10, and then 4-3 Tigers. I believe they walked him off in that last game. They did. Victor Reyes with the walk-off 2-run double to right field. It was real nice there. Nice little series. I think, like you said, the Padres looking ahead to who they're going to add. And then we'll go to Jake's Rocks. Kelsey Wingert's Rocks. They hosted the White Sox and they split the series. It went 2-1 White Sox, 6-5 Rockies in the second game. Elias Diaz, the walk-off 2-run single. He's been mashing over his last 9 games. Kopech, 5 1/3 shutout innings in game 1 to get that win. They split the series. Are the White Sox good or are they mid? Find out after this, and that's what happened in the International. Where do you guys want to start? Flushings?
Hey.
She was working at a hairdresser and Flushing. So
let's talk about this just quick, because people always say this segment turns into Talkin' Yanks, okay? There was like the Gallo hitting for IKF thing. Nobody liked that, right?
No, that was bad. But this should be talking Mets. I walked away from this thinking that playing the Mets felt like playing the Astros. I think the AL is very top heavy. I don't think there's a lot of teams out there where you watch them play and you're like, this is a good team. Playing the Astros feels like that. The Mets made every play and defense, and they made a bunch of hard plays. McNeil made a play at second that looks like my only reaction is like, I want to do that. Like that style of play. Like when you see a guy rob a home
up the middle.
Slow roller, charged it through, barrel rolled it out of it, came up high-fiving Lindor, I think, like right away, and to get the out and threw it hard. Just cool, man. Looked like a roller coaster ride. Like, I want to do that. And the Yankees hit some balls hard, right at guys. They made every play they needed to play. They took advantage of if Monty was tipping, they took advantage of it perfectly. If he wasn't, they just hit everything he put in the zone. Like the Mets look like a really well-rounded team. I would say Mets, Astros are the two teams. The Yankees, I've watched Yankees play full games against where I'm like, this feels different. This feels like a higher level of play.
Okay. And the Mets get DeGrom back and the Astros get Lance McCullers back. I think you're right, James. I like these teams. Yankees come out right away, hit 2 homers in the first inning, and then they answer back. Right after that, my boy Escobar had a big series too with a go-ahead 2-run homer there. I love Diaz getting the save, the 4-out save, and then the second game they bring Clay Holmes in to face the meat of the lineup in the 8th with a tie game. I like the move. Peralta comes in the bottom of the 9th, and I think first pitch Escobar hits a double. They bunt him over. Has a chance to make a play on, was it Nimmo? They gave him a hit on that, a single on that. I think it was an error on Peralta. And then Marte, easy walk-off single. Mets just took care of business, man. I agree. They look. I have it. I put in my notes. Seth Lugo looked nasty because he did. I'm sure you guys were watching. Did you see this guy like the funk?
Mm-hmm.
Gross, dude.
3,300 RPMs when he snaps one off on his breaking ball. Pretty nuts. And yeah, I mean, the other shout out the Mets need, City was rocking, man. And I remember when we went to last year's Subway Series, the place was going nuts. Dude, it's a really fun environment for baseball, like energy you can feel. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I said it all episode. The Yankees have been distracted by other things. They punched the Benny trade literally right as the game ended. Our guy Jack Curry tweets out Benintendi to the Yankees. The Mets won these games. Scherzer shut him out. Made Judge look as bad as I've seen a starting pitcher made Judgy look this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I mean the Gallo IKF thing. You know, you can Google some videos on the internet if you want to see Yankees reactions to that.
Yeah,
they trade for Benintendi. Yeah, so that's a big trade. They trade for Benintendi. It's one of the first like real rental trades we had, and then the Mets also made a trade to get Deal, old Yankees prospect, was gonna like break camp, and they traded him for Talkman before the 2019 season, and Nakin.
Tyler Nakin
says it's supposed to be pronounced Nakin. So both teams made trades, which is fun. Benintendi, his stats are really good this year. They're exactly what they need, which is the exact opposite of Gallo. And then Gallo's still on the team, but an article just came out by Lindsay Adler where he talks about his career as a Yankee in the past tense. So it's very odd because they know that he's going to be off the team soon. The only good thing to come out of this for Yankees fans, Trev, is that Chapman and Loaizaga had good innings against the Mets, and those guys have looked stinky since returning and back. And if that can lead into more good innings, that would be nice. But the Mets played well. They played crisp. That's the only thing. Like, I just feel like obviously defense is worse throughout the league. Wrote an article about that, and like I think that makes for more entertaining watch. But crisp baseball is. You don't see it a lot.
I didn't read the article. I'm gonna go read that article.
I think the National League is seeing it more than the American League. Like good, crisp baseball.
Just straight up observation from watching games over the last couple of years is you can't just throw fucking guys out at any defensive position. And that's what teams do now. Like, oh, hey, just go hide out there, or like we'll position you and try to make you into a utility player. dude, you can't do that. Like, you're going to be a bad defender if you're moving all over the place. And if you are a good defender and you're moving all over the place, you're fucking special and you're getting paid.
Yep.
But not everyone can do it.
And that's where I want to give Jeff McNeil another shout out. I tweeted out, he is the perfect Met, the energy and the grit and the doing everything to win he plays with. It's so Mets. It embodies the Mets, and he's awesome. His approach at the plate. And, you know, we've talked about it when we do the all-JM team. We might have to start going like full util because the fact that he can play second base and some corner outfield and some third if you need it and actually play it at that crisp level of baseball, even if it doesn't grade out perfect in OAA, but if you can feel a grounder and make the throw, that's so valuable. That guy is an October player. He's who you don't want to see up. If there's runners on second and third and Jeff McNeil's up, I'm like, fuck.
He is an October player, huh?
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
I like that. All right. Yankees got swept is the main message there. Moving on, my Twinkies, they go and get swept by the Brew Crew. Brewers just did it, man. You know, Urias had the walk-off sac fly on a, you know, it was deep enough in right field. I don't know who was out there. Was it Larnach or somebody whoever was playing right field in that game just threw an absolute just like worm burner home, had no chance there. Kind of felt bad for my guy Tyler Duffy because he made a good pitch. Yeah, there it is, James. He made a good pitch, but the Urias just got it deep enough. And then the second game just kind of got a hold of Archer in the fourth inning. Yelich had to go ahead RBI walk, and Rowdy, our guy, 2 3-run homers in the game. So he just put the Twins to sleep a little bit there. Like I said, Twins starting pitching, starting to kind of show why they need to make an upgrade there. I love my guy Arch. Jimmy loves Dylan Bundy. But I think we need to bring somebody in there. Corbin Burns looked really good. There was people always, when I talk about the Twins, they always want me to mention Duran. He had a great sequence to Adames. Bases loaded. He throws 100 miles an hour. His ball is so fucking heavy. Trying to hit the top of the zone. So Sanchez is back there. It's his bases loaded. This is in the first game. Still tied game. 5 straight heaters to get the count to 3-2. This guy throws like, I don't even know, like 80-90% heaters, like just a lot. He crosses Sanchez up and throws a fucking slider 3-2 right down the middle of the plate. But luckily Sanchez catches it. Guy rings Adames up, but it was crazy to see that, dude. Like, I think he just decided to throw it like mid pitch or something. Dude.
Gary got crossed up and hung in there.
Yes, dude. And the guy throws 100. So it was
My
kind of
guy.
funny to see that. And the umpire usually doesn't give the pitcher that pitch because he caught it so poorly. And Counsell was like pulling his hair out so mad after that. But it was a strike.
That's awesome.
But yeah, you go watch the replay if you can. It's on the highlights of the game. And dude, it's got to be so scary for a catcher.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking you're going to get 100 and all of a sudden you see a wrinkle in it. You're like, oh my gosh.
Scarier the other way. But yes.
What else happened in that series? I mean, that's pretty much it. Brew Crew, they had this meeting. I mentioned that in the thing. They had a meeting talking about taking advantage of opportunities. They did it right before the All-Star break. And since then, they've been really good.
I like that.
You know, I hit hitters every series, and then you'll go over the pitcher too.
Oh, okay.
The big ones before every series, but then usually before each day, you'll talk about the starter, who's available in the bullpen, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Nice.
Moving on, Cardinals at Blue Jays. Remember, this is the series where Goldschmidt and Arenado were not allowed to come up because of their vaccination status. So Pujols gets some starts there. He was it's the homer. He was hit a ball down the right field line, and watching him run right now is just so fun. It's like, we just need more of it. It's kind of like when I see Jake do anything athletic, I'm like, this is really funny. Like, you're really good, but it looks funny. Do you know what I'm saying?
Very similar to Pujols the whole way.
Yep. The first game was kind of all Blue Jays. They've been hitting the ball. My guy Matt Chapman has been going off lately. He's been crushing the ball. And a lot of the articles I read were Schneider, the new manager, just praising Chappie, saying he had a good first half. If you watch the games, he was hitting the ball hard, just was really unlucky. And now he's starting to, reap some benefits of that. So it's good to see him get going. Vlad was doing his damn thing. And then the second game, that was the first game. That was the Springer grand slam, Vladdy, Alejandro Kirk homer. And then the second game, Wainwright just shoved. Gorman had the solo homer off of Gossman, and then Pujols the same thing, 3-run homer in the fifth. 686, guys, 686 fucking home runs. Crazy.
Not bad.
So they split. Blue Jays are looking good. They had won 7 games in a row before they lost that second game against the Cards. Aesthetically pleasing series for me. I wouldn't be mad if this was the World Series. I think baseball in general would be mad because it's not exactly, I guess it is major markets. Oh, maybe they would be happy with this. What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'd be down to see the Blue Jays in the World Series. That would be
that would be big.
Nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty good. They're both pretty good. I think that I don't know. One of them's great.
Chapman was talking about how he loves playing in Toronto and how the fan he loves the fans and I don't know if that's just lip service, but him getting comfortable, scary for everybody else because that is essentially a depth piece in their lineup, but he can be a middle of the order bat when he's right. And I talked about it. I think this is, I don't know, this is a top 2 lineup in baseball right now, 1 through 9. As far as depth, I think it's them and the Astros. I think they're above the Dodgers right now too. If you're going just straight depth in the lineup.
Like that.
Anything else you guys want to add?
Not really.
Kind of covered it. We kind of covered it.
Yeah, 2 game splits by rule. Usually I just skip over those.
Padres at Tigers. Tigers do take 2 out of 3. Padres won the second game in extra innings. Clevenger had a good start in that game. He kind of hadn't had his footing, but now he's thrown 2 straight quality starts. James, you loved that. In the last game, Victor Reyes had the walk-off 2-run double down to the last strike off Rogers, hit it to right field. Schoolball is apparently on the block, and there was a bunch of people watching him pitch. He had a good outing in that game as well. He went 6 innings pitched, 2 unearned runs. It was like a drop foul fly ball in the bat against Machado that wasn't very good. Darvish looks good. I think you have to be concerned with Rogers if you're the Padres. I thought it was a great move by them to get him, but he's allowed an earned run in each of his last 3 appearances and 8 of his last 11. That's not what you want. Hopefully, just getting that out now, saving his sparkly clean innings for the run here in September. Padres are in on everybody. A lot of people are saying that they're the top team right now to land Soto. They've given the best package, which is nice to see. That will be crazy. Preller likes to make moves. He wheels and deals out there. Doesn't give a shit. I'd like to see Machado, Tatis, and Soto back to back to back. That would be really cool.
That would be wild. This team, Jake, seems like another candidate for your it's trade season, not baseball season series.
I mean, it's a little bit of that. Baseball got involved here. I think the Padres could have very easily won the last one if Rogers is being his normal stuff and we'd move along. But yeah, I mean, the Padres' eyes are elsewhere. We talked about doing our F1 Alive to Drive to show for baseball, but it's at the trade deadline and we get looks in at every front office. I wonder, Mackenzie Gore out for the rest of the season and CJ Abrams being hurt right now. Does that affect any of their big trade talks? Does it not at all? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Padres, real people, Jim, you like to filter out a lot of the riffraff. Like Jeff Passan has been a big, the Padres and Soto, if it's going to happen, them or the Cardinals are your actual front runners. We'll see if they do it. For a couple years, this was supposed to be the Padres' year. We will see. And hey, a little shout out. You mentioned Preller before. Remember they signed Profar, and we were all a little like, the third year for Profar. I don't know if you're gonna need that. He's been really good this year, and he's got now a $7.5 million player option for next year, which actually looks really good. So hey, sometimes those guys in the front office earn their money, whether it's luck or skill.
Can we get a sound effect for like a Nightingale update? Like it's maybe like, the two dragons meme or something like that. Like just like a sillier, like, pay off them.
There it is. We just got it.
What was
There's
that?
the
That
clip.
was a Pathin. P-A-T-H.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even new though. I just want like just something that lets the audience know this came from Nightingale, Trev's guy. He said
Triceratops in the game.
Yeah, Triceratops. That's great. Padres, Mariners, Cardinals, Dodgers is what he said earlier this morning, are the final four. So Padres are in there.
All right. Let's move on. And this is the last series to cover. So we're going to spend an hour on it.
Screwball getting moved doesn't make sense. And that was another one, Trev, where I was like, what are we doing? Everyone's for sale now?
Everyone's for sale.
Although the Tigers maybe should, because they botched Fulmer and Boyd so bad. And maybe they're like, let's trade a guy early.
Okay.
See if that works out.
Cash in.
Who knows, man? Who knows the Tigers' direction? Who knows some of these teams' fucking directions? I'd like to have a sit down with all these GMs and just say, point me in your direction. I need to know.
I think you'd be shocked how many are planless.
I need to get the reins of a team. White Sox. Kelsey Winger to Rocks. They were battling in Colorado. They split the series. We're not supposed to talk about a 2-game split, but I'm going to talk about a 2-game split. Kopech goes 5 1/3. Shuddy. Hendricks gives up a homer in the 9th. Says the altitude gets to him, but he ends up closing it out. They win 2-1. The White Sox do in game 1. The fun game was the second game. If you're a Rockies fan, for sure. We had the walk-off 2-run single by the catcher there, Diaz, and he backpicked Garcia. There's a quote from Steve Stone. Said the White Sox are about as bad a base running team as I've ever seen. That is not what you want to be said about you.
It's a funny quote.
Yeah, this was a Garcia got picked off at third base, leaning a little bit there. I don't know what the White Sox are doing.
Who said that?
Steve Stone. This is a good Max put this in our stats here. Shout out Max Manis. Yes, stud. Kendall Graveman has wild splits when he does and doesn't pitch on rest. Pretty small. Can I like make that bigger? How do I do that? Sorry, people. Getting old here. Here we go. With rest, Kendall Graveman, 34 1/3 innings pitched, 1.83 ERA. Without rest, 9 1/3 innings pitched, 6.75 ERA. You got all these guys in there looking at data and numbers and shit. You should probably look at this number a little bit. Make sure all Kendall's getting a day off here.
Wow. A lot of times we found relievers that it's the opposite. Like we used to have a campaign called Keep Britain Regular, because if he got 2 days off or 3 days off, he was like, he lost it. So that's tough. Talking to relievers like we have over the years as we talk to players, it's like I never thought about it ever as a kid growing up that there's relievers that are sitting out there and they have their warm-up toss and they're like, my arm hurts a little bit, and they don't get that doesn't fucking matter. Like we talked to a reliever, he was like, I told him I had a dead arm. Like I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I pitched like 3 times last week. My arm's dead. I have no feel for any of my pitches. They call me up in the bullpen and I'm in. And then I get rocked and then everyone's on my ass. And I'm like, oh my God, I just never really thought about that scenario or that situation. Like we just think they have robotic arms.
You got to get old. Your body has to get old and sore. I guess once you turn 30 and you understand or late 20s and you understand like recovery time. But I just never had any sympathy for relievers.
We just had a blitzball meeting about you worrying about your arm being sore.
Yeah, I can't do that.
it's real. And what really they'll talk about, if you talk to the bullpen guys, it's the ball comes out of, like, when they're fresh, like the ball just comes out of their hand differently. It just feels differently. It's more crisp. And when they are a little tired, like it just doesn't come out the same way. Sometimes that could work in their favor. It rarely does, but like that crispness of their pitches, like they're able to, manipulate their arm slot just a little bit to make sure they're getting in the tunnel. And if they don't do that, and they can't, if their arm is sore and they're not really feeling the slot, like that little bit can just make that pitch run into the middle of the plate, and then we're getting freaking bushes all of a sudden. And they start to complain and the pouty lip, and then we have to listen to it as position players. And I'm like, hey guys, I don't lump you in with starting pitchers, but if you start complaining like this, I'm going to start lumping you with starting pitchers. Then I lose the room and I get rid of
and we've heard stories the other way, specifically one game where there was a guy who was told before the game, like, you're down today. Don't even you're like, have mental break. We're not going to use you out of the pen today, which is nice. And I'm sure they do that a lot. And then guy got called up. He felt what I was talking about. Arm felt bad. Didn't have it. Just felt like he didn't have a grip on the ball. Told them that. So they didn't bring him into the game. And then they called the other guy who was supposed to be down for the day, brought him in. He blew the save, or the whatever it was, the hold. And I was just like, fuck, dude, reliever life stinks sometimes. Like, can you imagine? Coach,
Yes.
My arm hurts. I got no feel for the ball. All right, you're in. Protect this 2-run lead.
Yeah, don't screw it up.
You have a bad 2/3 of an inning, and in the box score the next day it says loss Moylan. I'm announcing a trade. Donovan Solano to the White Sox. Louis Robert is coming. He's starting to rehab. You put him back in center field. Donovan Solano is hitting .330 on the Reds bench right now, and the White Sox have room at second base, so I'm going to announce that. And it's finally time,
Are you predicting or announcing?
Predicting an announcement.
Oh,
Hey,
I went to look it up.
No, I'm predicting an announcement.
Trade season.
And then this is it, boys. They had an off day yesterday. Oakland, Kansas City, and Texas. They have their starting pitching lined up. They just got the off day for the bullpen. Go now. They're 14-10 in July. Not gangbusters, but good for the White Sox. Go.
That's it, guys. That's all the freaking teams, all the games. How do we do it?
This will be the last app where we do that. It has to be.
No, bro. The dog days are here, man. I want 5-hour episodes. Every single at bat we're gonna go over in detail.
So we're done. That's the recap. We got standout.
Yeah.
Standout performances.
Santiago said, damn, Jake, I was happy for my man Solano. You had me too.
You can be happy. It's going to happen in probably a day and a half.
All right.
Mistakes.
All right.
They're high. I enjoy them.
Standout performances.
Brought to you by the Warehouse, Jimbo. You seen what's going on there?
I saw that Trevor's team, Forgotten Ron, had their first game. It was a former first-round MLB pick, professional baseball player, professional quarterback, Nicky Cass, and Dalton the Worm Feely against our sales team.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Here's what we started to realize. Passing across the entire floorball rink, not a sound strategy.
You know what? We realized that too. We just, in our broadcast tests, we play a game and we realize that. So we always get the leg up. But that's why the new format of the Warehouse Games tournament that's going on right now, there's pool play. So it doesn't affect you. Like the first blitzball battle we did, if you lost the first game, it was a double elimination that went against you. You only had one more loss left. And so we've built in a new structure of the leagues so that you have a little buffer to understand the learning curve. And we'll see if Forgotten Rotten can make the adjustments necessary. They have one more pool play game left. and then the playoffs. And for the blitzball battle too, it'll be the same thing where like pool play, then the playoffs. Go watch Forgotten Rotten versus JM Office on the Warehouse Games channel. And for every goal scored in the third period, a subscriber is getting $100. And I believe in our game, Jake, we gave away $600.
Gave away some shekels. We gave away some real money.
We scored 6 goals in the third period, or combined.
I think 5
in the game.
5.
I think so.
I thought I looked good.
Yes.
Say
You
that.
looked great.
Thank you.
Nicky
I play on
Cass,
Monday.
I mean, ball on his stick at the doorstep like 5 times.
Unreal.
It looked worse on
Unbelievable.
video than real life, and I
It
thought
looked worse. I
I thought it looked bad in real life.
I didn't remember him being that bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for anyone that has been watching the Warehouse Games and also listens
Thank
to Talking
you.
Baseball, thank you very much. And Trev is right. Passing does not work. So if you think you see a team and they're like, oh, that they're being selfish, it's Team Baggage was pretty out on passing. It was like, just shoot and get a rebound. It is hard to pass.
I think most
Small
teams
condensed area.
came to the conclusion, like, take a shot if you think you got it.
Yeah. All right. Do I get to go first?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you do.
Wow. I'm going to go Max Scherzer because it's nice symmetry for me. On Talking Yanks, we give out a Pride of the Yankees and a Yankee motherfucker after every series. And I gave Judge the motherfucker because he went 0 for 5 in rubber mat or in, you know, in the to get swept. And like Jake said, Scherzer made him look as bad as I've seen him look. Scherzer makes everybody look bad. It's not a surprise. And Scherzer looked great. And it is like a devastating feeling facing him. When he's on, all you can do is hope he gets tired and the manager leaves him out too long. That's how I feel. Like with Verlander, I think Verlander is better than Scherzer. Like, or I don't know, like Verlander, same exact level, if not. But you can run into a Verlander fastball. And I'm like, if someone just runs into one, but I just don't get that feeling at all with Scherzer when he's on. I'm just like, you just got to wait this out, man. He just is demoralizing when he's on.
He's smart. I think that's the thing. Like, you get some guys that have the stuff, but don't. Like Scherzer can just look at a hitter, see like the swing he takes. He's kind of like a catcher out there, looking at the swing you take, looking how, even if you take a ball, how are you taking that pitch? You know, obviously he's reading the data before the games, but he threw a bunch of breaking balls to Judge because like Judge can't hit his breaking balls. So he's like, I'm just going to keep doing that. And he struck him out, what, 3 times that game?
Think so.
Out to Judge to make the adjustment. So like he'll see Judge start to sit back on that breaking ball, and then he's going to go up top with a fastball. Like this is the chess match. He always seems to be just a little ahead of the hitters, man.
And he
Kind
kind
of
of
stuff that plays.
he kind of did that second and third at bat. He started him off cutter like right over the heart and 2-seamer right over the heart, but Judgy just wasn't looking at him, and then Judge ends up swinging at a pitch that's 3 feet out of the zone by the end of it. It's artwork. It's artwork.
Yeah. He's very good.
Speaking of artwork, I'm going off the map a little bit. A guy that's been in the ire of this team's fan base a little bit, Bobby Dalbec. The Red Sox were putting on another stink at Fenway. My God. And Bobby hits 2 home runs. He goes 2 for 3, 2 homers, 5 RBI. And, man, I know Bobby, Red Sox fans have not been in love with him this year, and for proper reasons. I mean, I think the offense has been bad. I think like a lot of the defense, it ain't been good. I don't know if you guys remember this. Early on in the season, I think a month and a half in, I did, guys to watch out for the bounce back or guys that were going to break out. I mentioned Bobby Dalbec very briefly because last year, Bobby went nuts in the second half. In the first half of last year, he was a 673 OPS guy. Pretty similar. to what he's been doing this year. Last year in the second half, he was a 955 OPS guy. So I don't know. I hope I don't know what Bobby Dalbec is fully going to be about, but I know in the brief second half this year, he's already got 3 homers compared to 7 in the whole first half. He's got an 854 OPS. And I don't know what it means. I know Red Sox fans were thinking he might be traded. Maybe he's boosting his trade value a bit. Or maybe he can be a part of a Red Sox second half where there's, if you're looking for the tone to change, a young player like Bobby Dalbec playing a much better brand of baseball would help them. So we'll see. I know he's been in the target of the barrel all year for a lot of Red Sox fans, but maybe he's just a second half guy. That's who he is. So I'll go Bobby.
Where's he from?
Bobby Dalbec is from Seattle, Washington.
Well,
But he went to high school
there
in
goes my theory.
Colorado. So I don't know.
So he likes the cold. So what's his excuse?
I don't know.
Shout out Bobby Dalbec, hot boy. Some people in Boston have always loved him. How about that?
Wow.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going with Rowdy Tellez. I
Mm.
mentioned him already earlier in the game that they beat the Twins. He had 2 homers and 6 RBIs. I believe it's the second time he's done that this year already. 2-homer game with 6+ RBIs. He joined Ryan Braun and Jeff Jenkins as the only Brewers to do that in a season. So nice company right there. This is how I feel about the Brewers offense. Because, like, if you look at the numbers as a whole, it's not bad. But they don't have a guy to carry them. Although I think that's okay. Like, they're going to have to be one of those teams that relies on, like, different guys stepping up. One guy can carry you this series, you know, whether it's Rowdy, maybe Hunter Renfroe carries you the next series. The next series, it could be Willie Adames and so on and so forth. You kind of get where I'm going here. Rowdy making like $1.5 million this year. I always tell people 30 homers seems really easy. You got 6 months to do it. You hit 5 every single month. That's all you got to do. Rowdy Tellez has averaged 5 homers per month. He's got 5 in July already. I believe there was another month with 5, and then one with 6, and one with 4. Rowdy, 2 more months of 5 homers, bro. You will get to 30. And dude, that's just a benchmark for players. So I root for Rowdy. He's one of our guys. You know that. And this Brew Crew, if they don't go get that offensive upgrade that I've been promised, they're going to have to rely on guys to do it, you know, at different times. And Rowdy's going to be one of those guys because the Brewers are going to be in the playoffs and the playoff hunt. And we're going to see Rowdy Tellez have some fucking massive moments. I'm pretty happy about that.
Happy for Rowdy. He was a good guy when we met him. He was funny. Well, quick slump watch.
Slump watch. I want to be here for this.
Okay. It's a Band-Aid now.
Band-Aid.
Just for all our fantasy baseball players that want to know, like, these guys are having a tough time. Marcus Semien, 0 for 12. Oh, Corey Seager, same team,
Damn.
0 for 10. Who'd they play? The
Rangers got swept by the Mariners.
JD Martinez, 0 for 10. Doesn't want to be traded. Wants to stick around. Will Smith, 0 for 11. Travis d'Arnaud, 0 for 8. Doesn't. No, for only 8. 2 games. Unless he got taken out. That's slump watch. That's all. From Rangers, JD, Will Smith. That's all it is. All right. Now on to the guys that are
on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Heimer Candelario. He went 8 for 13. It's actually Jamer, which I thought it was Heimer for so long. 8 for 13 with 3 homers. Jose Miranda, 6 for 8 with a homer. Way to be. Xander, 6 for 13. Happy, not getting traded, and gets to reject a qualifying offer. Luis actually, they do it differently, right? Dodgers is where they say it's like Urias, and then this is Luis Urias. 4 for 6, 2 home runs. That's probably wrong. Tony Kemp, 6 for 11 with a homer. Nate Lowe, 4 for 9, homer, 2 doubles. David Peralta, Jake's guy. He went his height. Is he short, Jake?
No.
Damn. 5 for 8. 5 for 8 with a triple and 2 doubles. Cal Raleigh. They're excited about him. I saw some people yelling that we said like Contreras might go to the Mariners last app. They were like, we like Cal.
They like Cal.
I never said that.
Who said it
that.
then? I
I don't know.
I said that.
Jake said that.
Adolis Garcia. Not hot enough to read the stats.
Damn.
So that's Slump Watch.
Nice, James.
And in Fuego.
Yeah.
That was in Fuego, yeah.
And in Fuego.
1.4.
And Adolis Garcia had a nice series.
Yeah.
We got awards next, Jake. You look
Team
like you have an
Chelsea.
award written down.
I do. I'm giving out the Mystical Birds Award. It's something I mentioned briefly in the AL. The Orioles had their first ever Mo Gabba Day. If you're not familiar, he was a kid who unfortunately passed away, but has become a little bit of a Baltimore sports legend because he got cancer very early on, a lot of time in the hospital. But while he was there, big sports fan, huge Ravens-Orioles guy, and he was calling in to all his favorite morning radio shows. Mom had no idea, and then they tried to reach out to him because they liked him, and then it became this whole thing that the Orioles, they had their inaugural Mo Gabba Day against the Rays. And we've talked about this with the Orioles before, that baseball and sports in general, there's a little bit of mystical powers that go around. Sometimes stuff happen. The Orioles triple is a thing. Adley, Rushman, Machado, and I think Wieters all in their first at bat hit big triples, and it's kind of this crazy Orioles top prospect thing that how the heck has that happened? On the first ever Mo Gabba Day, Trey Mancini, the kind of the heart of the Orioles, the guy we spent a lot of time talking about, hits a fly ball to right. Pretty routine fly ball. Outfielder just misses it, bonks off his head straight to the corner. The ball is so far gone, and you go, oh my God. Trey Mancini, the guy who's on Hug Watch and the crowd's giving extra love to anyway, he's going to have an inside the park homer. The ball bounces so far away that I thought it was going to be a walk-in inside the park homer. Not to give a shot at my guy Trey. It was pretty bang at the plate. The ball might have beat him, but Trey gets his foot in there, and he gets the inside the park home run on Mo Gabba Day. And just when you put all that in the bucket, man, it's a beautiful thing. So shout out to everything the Birds are doing. They're over 500. Keep Trey. Don't do it. Keep the juice going. And how about an inside the park home run for Trey Mancini?
Shout out Trey. Do not trade him. I also forgot to give a shout out to our friend Britt Gurali, who's like having a baby like any second.
Oh, wow.
So shout out Britt, who covers the Orioles for The Athletic. I think she covers everything now, right? I think she got a promotion.
I think so.
She deserves it. James, do you want me to go? Or are you ready?
I'm good. I'm ready. I'm giving out the Just Playing award.
Just playing.
Goes to JP Crawford. Our guy. Lowest strikeout percentage in July in all Major League Baseball. Everyone's talking Julio. We love Cal Raleigh. Jake, we don't want Contreras. Jake, why'd you say that, Jake? It's like you guys aren't talking about the right thing. JP Crawford had a hell of a July. Only 3 games where he didn't have a hit. He just had 3 games with extra base hits in a row. So the offensive numbers are there. Hit 300, had a 360 on base, 75 plate appearances. He struck out 4 times.
Okay.
Lowest strikeout rate in Major League Baseball. Way to be, JP.
Nice. It's JP Crawford, one of the cooler people you're ever going to meet. So I like that.
JP Crawford.
I don't necessarily have a name for my award. I've been going back and forth. There was this I've been watching this show Alone. You guys know where they just like leave people on like these crazy, like rough terrains. You just got to figure it out yourself. And every episode they have these quotes at the beginning. And Olivia in particular loves these quotes. She's a quote girl, likes to be inspired by quotes. And there's this one, I forgot who said it, but it just talks about like, you don't know what you're capable of until you've like faced adversity. Essentially, it's not the quote, but it's something like that.
Great.
So I'm gonna give this one a name. It's the Diamond Award. Okay. And what makes diamonds but pressure,
Slaves.
right? And digging out of like the dwarves, like in the Snow White, they made diamonds too, and rubies and emeralds and stuff like that. Anyways, Alec Bohm, my God, has faced some pressure-packed situations this year that I believe are going to pay off for him big time. Okay, we remember the media gaffe that he had. I think it was Jimmy's fault. Reading his lips saying, I fucking hate this place. It wasn't.
I was trying to give him an out.
Okay, well, he didn't.
No, everyone else had it.
Admits it after that game, faces the adversity. And if you remember, like, he was hitting at the time and it won him some goodwill. So, like, he faces that pressure, comes out looking hot. Okay, then he's been struggling at the dish, in May and June. But in July, this dude has absolutely gone off. In July, he's got a 1 daughter, guys. He's hitting 436 with a 1 daughter in July. And the reason I say this is the Diamond Award and the pressure and all that stuff is it takes a little bit of time for you to realize and to know that, hey, there are going to be times when I'm in the show where it's hard and I stink. But to be able to now, twice this year, come out of it looking great, that's going to serve Alec Bohm in the future. Like, I think this guy is going to turn into what everyone thought he was going to turn into. He's learning how to grind. He's learning how to accept failures when you can't control what goes on around you. And he's just been like finding ways to get out of it and like succeed. So I think this year is a huge year for him. And what he's doing now, I think will continue over. I don't think he's a 1 dot type player, but I think just having that knowledge, like, hey, dude, I can have a shitty month. That doesn't mean my season's over. That doesn't mean I need to go down to AAA. That doesn't mean I'm not good enough to be in the big leagues. Like, he's finding that resilience. And if you're a Phillies fan, you love this guy already, but you're going to love him even more when he's producing. And I think he's going to start producing just because of the mindset that he's got from a couple different situations this year. So shout out Alec, because you're learning how to deal with the everyday grind of being a big leaguer. And I think he's just got the right mindset for it. I just foresee All-Star 2023 for Alec Bohm.
I think that him getting that off his chest and a weight lifted a little bit, like, made all those errors. I fucking hate this place. Says it, doesn't deny it. They cheer for him the next day. Maybe that was a moment where it was like, oh shit. It's easy to win the crowd over if I just like am honest with them.
Well, he basically had identical months in May and June. He hit 252 in both months, 611 OPS in May, 609 OPS in June. So it's 2 straight months of being like, dude, I kind of stink. And that's what you start to think about as a hitter. But then he comes back in July and just has this mammoth month going on right now. And dude, it's just you have to go through those things. And if you want to play, you're going to go through those things, and you have to figure out a way to get over them if you want to be a big leaguer for a long time. I think he's figured it out.
Good for him.
Yep.
Beauty.
Boom. Do we have a best friend of the week?
We do, and it is Ryan Yarbrough. 6 innings, 1 earned, 8 Ks, 4 hits, no walks. He takes the loss in the start, but he wins his first Best Friend of the Week award this year.
Good for Yarby, man. Seems like it's been a weird series for the Rays. Been a weird turn for him, how they use him, how he's been pitching. Pitch clock gonna fuck him up next year. Guy's so slow on the mound. Speed it up. Speed it up. Speed it up, Ryan. But good for him. Yes, Trev?
Before the stimulator, 'cause I'm hyped on that. I forgot to bring this up, talking about Trey Turner. I just saw a random tweet about Trey Turner, okay? I love this dude. I love watching him play baseball. He's probably one of my favorite guys to watch in the league. Apparently, he knows the Leonardo DiCaprio, Wolf of Wall Street, speech. And he'll go up and do that randomly. He'll just walk up on the team bus and just give that speech and fire the boys up.
All right, let's have at it. Let's hear him do it.
Need some video of that.
I'm not leaving speech.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know the other words. I was trying to think of the other words.
I don't know the words either, but I'm just envisioning Trey Turner just all of a sudden just taking his AirPods out, walking up to the front of the bus, taking the mic and just giving the speech, and everyone looking at him like, what the fuck is going on? But by the end of it, they're all going, yeah, yeah. That's in my head, at least.
If we were to hop on an elevator right now and a guy was to walk in, or gal, and they were wearing a hat of this team, and you had you had a minute to talk about some baseball with them. The Guardians. That's an easy one.
What's happening right now?
It's Friday, Jimmy.
Oh, it's Friday? Oh, shit.
I just said I'm getting hyped for the stimmy, baby.
I'm all thrown off. We basically just had a weekend at the warehouse. It feels like a Monday to me.
Totally fair.
Is a stimulator set up? My bad.
Come on, James.
Let the people bathe in it.
Sexy. Welcome to Sexy Saturdays.
It's a new one. There's new teams.
New team.
Dress code is sexy.
Oh my goodness. The third place Twins. Well, not third place, but third division winner Twins face off against the 6th seed Rays in the wild card. That's going to get the cash.
Don't
flow
do it, BBD.
coming.
Rays.
No, BBD.
I like the Twins winning that. Blue Jays and Mariners.
Jays.
Jays.
Them facing off right away. Right away is wild. We have the Rays and the Astros.
Astros.
And then the Yankees and the Blue Jays.
The Jays.
You don't need that.
Wow.
Jays Astros championship series. How about that?
Wow.
Brewers and the Phillies.
Brewers.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And then the Braves. Hey, this is the most in the same division wild card matchups we've had.
I think so, right?
Braves and Padres. I don't think we have a single one where it's the same division. Braves versus Padres. Who's wins that? All right, so you have the Braves and the Dodgers in the divisional series.
The Dodgers.
The Brewers beat the Phillies, and the Mets were sitting there waiting, lining up their rotation.
Mets.
Wow. Mets, Dodgers.
The Mets.
Ooh.
boy. The Mets will be playing the Astros or the Blue Jays in the World Series.
They're playing Houston.
Astros Mets World Series.
Oh my God.
How about that? Who wins it?
The Mets win it.
Oh, Shea State.
Oh, my God, DeGrom.
Jerry Blevins gets the save in Game 7.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He's so good at Wordle. He always texts me on this.
Jig sucks.
Contreras to Seattle, people.